Have any of you ever read the manga known as Berserk? Well, if you have, then you've probably seen a lot of cool moments within the entirety of the story. And I'd bet that a lot of those cool moments were fights. And I bet those fights were, okay, I'm gonna stop stalling, top 10 fights in Berserk. Remember, this is my opinion, and you're bound to disagree, because there are just so many cool fights in Berserk. So here we go. Coming in at number 10 is the first fight between Guts, Griffith, and Zod. This was an amazing scene. We see Guts as the Raiders' captain with seemingly no match in the world, having to take on this mysterious, murderous entity. We soon see that Guts and Griffith are clearly outmatched, yet are able to wound this impossible beast. Thankfully, this scene was cut short, otherwise the story would have been over long ago. Happy to learn that soon we'd see Zod once again. Number 9 for me is the first time we see Guts and Serpico. Their other fight is arguably a better fight, but it was almost a rehash, and also the outcome wasn't as memorable. Nothing wrong with a rehash, so either way, we see how strategic Serpico can be, knowing his limits and knowing how to sway a matchup in his favor. In the case with the first fight, this benefited him greatly, and he really seemed like a fresh, new face and foe for Guts. While he could have stayed that way, I'm glad he ended up joining the gang, only to have them fight again later. Number 8 has got to be Guts against the 100 soldiers. 100 men. Guts kills them. Enough said. Number 7 for me is the fight between Mazgus and Guts. This was just a cool arse fight, just for the sake of being cool. We knew Mazgus was a villain introduced just to die, and oh how awesome his death was. I mean, obviously there was a point to the whole thing, but the escalation of it was borderline shonen. And hey, that's a-okay sometimes. You know, sometimes I miss Mazgus. Did I say sometimes? I meant always. Coming in at 6 is the fight between Guts and Griffith in the Golden Age. We see Guts after Basuzo and against the other Falcon members kicking butt, until Griffith stabs him, puts Guts out with one strike. And then Guts thinks he can take him in a one-on-one scenario afterward, and while he does do a good job, Griffith owns him once again, although literally this time. Gutso meets his first match. Pretty cool stuff. Number 5, the fight between Guts and the Sea God. Primarily for the art. To me, this side quest, if you will, felt a bit out of place, but I did still really enjoy it. It was beautiful, and seeing Guts fight this gigantic beast with such amazing dark art was simply great. If the art wasn't this amazing, it probably wouldn't be on the list. But even past the art, the fight itself had many memorable panels, moments, and just really cool stuff overall. Number 4, Grunbeld and Guts. Okay, speaking of art, this is almost as good, but it has all the story impact and suspenseful action the Sea God fight might have been missing. Guts just donned the Berserk's armor for the first time, and just goes, well, Berserk. Number 3, Guts versus Rosine. Okay, if you know me, you might know that I'm not the hugest fan of the Lost Children chapter, but really only because it's not my favorite art style / portrayal of Guts. But when compared to what came before it in the Golden Age, it was leaps and bounds more entertaining for me. One cannot deny the amount of rage felt along with Guts during this battle. The first big fight we've seen of him since the tragedy that was the eclipse. And it's also the first time we've seen this side of him since, well, the beginning of the story. Personally, I love getting this dark side of him back into the thick of it. Falling through the air, stabbed through the mouth, and exploding a bug lady. Number 2 for me is the battle in Enoch Village. It spans over a long time, several episodes, so maybe that's unfair to include. Oh well though, I freaking love it. The gang all doing their own cool stuff, fighting alone and also together, the trolls, the Kelpie, Shirka and the elemental stuff, Farney's not being a total waste, my boy Isidro didn't really do much, but Shirka, Serpico, and Guts were all doing super neat stuff. It just really feels like the first D&D moment of the series to me, all the way up until when they meet Slan. Not that it's a D&D-esque series, and not that I would want more of it, but seeing them fighting like that just really got to me, especially Serpico and the Kelpie. We really get to see him show his stuff. Here are some other cool fights that didn't make the top 10. The Tigers, the Eclipse, the other Serpico fight, Basuzo, some other cool short ones from the Neo Band of the Hawk, Bakiraka fight and the Band of the Falcon. And the number 1 fight in all of Berserk, according to me, is the Wicker Man fight. Just kidding, the real number 1 spot for me is the fight between Guts and Zod on the Hill of Swords. I can't put into words what I feel about this fight. Well, except for these. It was unexpected, it was long awaited, and it was cut way too short. I assume if it had concluded, Zod would have easily been the victor. But what about now? Man, I just want to see them clash once again. A scene has never left me hanging as much as this one. I'm so glad Guts didn't kill Zod before the clash with Kanishka, because that'd mean we'd never get another fight. And that's one of my most anticipated moments in the future of Berserk. Okay, Berzoingos, that's about it. If you have another fight you enjoyed more, feel free to post it as a comment. Before I go, I wanted to let you guys know that I opened up a Discord so you could all chat with each other as well as with me about Berserk and non-Berserk related things. If you want to join it, all you gotta do is click the Discord link in the description. Thanks, Schnoz. May a God hand fist you with a bless bump.